সম্মানিত উপাধ্যক্ষ মহোদয় জনাব খালেদ মোশাররফ স্যার, আমাদের মাঝে উপস্থিত আছেন আমাদের অত্র প্রতিষ্ঠানের দশম শ্রেণীর বিভিন্ন বিষয়ের শিক্ষক এবং শ্রেণী শিক্ষকগণ। আমি সবাইকে আজকের এই সাংস্কৃতিক সপ্তাহ উদযাপন উপলক্ষে আমাদের এই সাংস্কৃতিক আয়োজনে সবাইকে শুভেচ্ছা জানাচ্ছি, অভিনন্দন জানাচ্ছি। প্রথমে আমি আজকে অনুষ্ঠানের প্রধান অতিথি আমাদের সম্মানিত উপাধ্যক্ষ মহোদয় স্যারের কাছ থেকে আজকের অনুষ্ঠান শুরু করার জন্য সবিনয়ে অনুমতি প্রার্থনা করছি।
প্লিজ proceed on.
প্রিয় শিক্ষার্থীরা, আমাদের আজকের এই অনুষ্ঠানে এখন পবিত্র কোরআন থেকে তেলাওয়াত করছে মাহবুবুল আলম, দশম শ্রেণী, নিউটন থেকে। মাহবুবুল আলম।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম ওয়া রাহমাতুল্লাহি ওয়া বারাকাতুহু। আউযু বিল্লাহি মিনাশ শাইতানির রাজীম। বিসমিল্লাহির রহমানির রহিম। আর-রহমান আল্লামাল কুরআন খালাকাল ইনসান আল্লামাহুল বায়ান। আশ-শামসু ওয়াল কামারু বিহুসবান والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تكسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان صدق الله العلي العظيم.
ধন্যবাদ। আমাদের মোহাম্মদপুর প্রিপারেটরি স্কুল অ্যান্ড কলেজ কর্তৃক আয়োজিত সাংস্কৃতিক সপ্তাহ উদযাপন 2021 উপলক্ষে আজকে 7 জুলাই 2021 সাল। এখন বর্ষাকাল, আমরা সবাই কোভিড সিচুয়েশন, করোনা সিচুয়েশনের মধ্যে, করোনা পরিস্থিতির মধ্যে সবাই ঘরবন্দি হয়ে আমাদের সময়কে কাটাচ্ছি। শিক্ষার্থীদের বিনোদনের ব্যবস্থা এবং তাদের মানসিক বিকাশের জন্য আমাদের প্রতিষ্ঠান কর্তৃক আয়োজিত অনলাইন প্ল্যাটফর্মে সাংস্কৃতিক সপ্তাহ আমরা উদযাপন করতে যাচ্ছি। গত 4 তারিখ থেকে আমাদের প্রতিষ্ঠানে মাধ্যমিক এবং প্রাইমারি শাখায় বিভিন্ন শিক্ষার্থীরা তাদের বিভিন্ন সাংস্কৃতিক বিষয়ে, যেমন সঙ্গীত, কবিতা আবৃত্তি, একক অভিনয়, উপস্থিত বক্তৃতা এবং বিভিন্ন আরো বিষয়ে তারা তাদের বিভিন্ন উপস্থাপনা মহড়া দিয়েছে এবং সেই মহড়া সম্পন্ন হওয়ার পর আমরা আজকে একটা প্রতিযোগিতামূলক আয়োজনের মাধ্যমে আমাদের অনুষ্ঠান উদযাপন করতে যাচ্ছি। আমি আজকের এই অনুষ্ঠানে আমাদের মাঝে উপস্থিত আছেন আমাদের দশম শ্রেণীর 2 জন শ্রেণী শিক্ষক, জনাব রেজাউল শাফি এবং জনাব মিথুন স্যার। আমি প্রথমে শ্রেণী শিক্ষকদের কাছ থেকে আজকের এই অনুষ্ঠান সম্পর্কে তাদের স্বাগত সম্ভাষণ, তাদের কাছ থেকে কিছু কথা শুনতে যাচ্ছি। প্রথমে রেজাউল শাফি স্যার, সংক্ষেপে।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আজকের অনুষ্ঠানে উপস্থিত আছেন আমাদের মাননীয় উপাধ্যক্ষ মহোদয় ইংলিশ ভার্সন খালেদ মোশাররফ স্যার। আমাদের আমি খুবই সংক্ষেপে কথা বলতেছি। আজকের অনুষ্ঠানে সবাইকে শুভেচ্ছা আমি আগে জানাচ্ছি। এই প্যান্ডেমিক সিচুয়েশনে, কোভিড-19 প্রবলেমে আমরা যে একটা কালচার উইক করতে পারতেছি, এটা আমাদের জন্য অনেক বড় পাওয়া, আমাদের শিক্ষার্থীর জন্য অনেক বড় পাওয়া। এবং শিক্ষার্থীরা স্বতঃস্ফূর্তভাবে আমাকে অনেকে নাম দিয়েছেন। বাংলা সং, রিসাইটেশন পয়েম বাংলা, স্টোরি টেলিং, এক্সটেম্পোর স্পেস, সোলো ড্রামা। অনেকেই ইতিমধ্যে সোলো ড্রামা পাঠিয়েছেন, এক্সিলেন্ট সোলো ড্রামা পাঠিয়েছেন। এই যে আমরা একটা সিচুয়েশন মধ্যে আমরা স্টুডেন্টদের একটা বিনোদন দিতে পারতেছি, এটা আমরা মনে করতেছি আমাদের শিক্ষার্থীর জন্য, আমাদের অভিভাবকদের জন্য অনেক বড় পাওয়া। কারণ আমরা জানি আমরা একটা আবদ্ধ হয়ে আছি, আমরা এমন ভাবে আবদ্ধ হয়ে আছি যেটা আমরা নিজেরাও অস্বস্তির মধ্যে আছি, আমাদের শিক্ষার্থীরা অস্বস্তির মধ্যে আছে। আমাদের অভিভাবকরা অনেকে আমাদের সাথে ফোনে যোগাযোগ করেন, তারা খুব পেইনের মধ্যে, অনেকে সময় অনেক অস্বস্তির মধ্যে আছেন। এই যে সবকিছু একটা কাটিয়ে ওঠার জন্য, সবকিছুকে উপভোগ করার জন্য, আমরা আবদ্ধ থেকেও যেন আমরা লাইফটাকে এনজয় করতে পারি, ভালো করতে পারি। এবং শিক্ষাদানের মাধ্যমে আমাদের ইতিমধ্যে আমাদের সবাই অবগত আছেন, আমাদের প্যারেন্টসরা অবগত আছেন, শিক্ষার্থীরা অবগত আছেন আমরা যেভাবে কালচার পরিবেশন করতেছি এবং আমাদের অনলাইন ক্লাস কার্যক্রম চলতেছে। অনেক প্যারেন্টস আমাদেরকে সাধুবাদ জানিয়েছেন। আমি বেশি কিছু বলবো না, আরো অনেকেই আছেন, কারণ আমাদের হাতের সময় কম। আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি আমাদের উপাধ্যক্ষ মহোদয়, এখানে অনুষ্ঠান প্রথমে আমাদের এখানে আসছেন। আমাদের অন্যান্য ক্লাসেও অনুষ্ঠান চলবে, স্যার অনেক বিজি থাকবেন। থ্যাংক ইউ আমাদের সকল শিক্ষার্থীকে ধন্যবাদ। স্যার।
বিসমিল্লাহির রহমানির রহিম। আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আমি প্রথমে ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি আজকের আয়োজক, এই আয়োজনের সঙ্গী সর্বোত্তম চেষ্টা যারা দিচ্ছেন, আমাদের জাকির স্যার এবং আমাদের সাইম স্যার, এবং আমরা সকলে আন্তরিকভাবে কৃতজ্ঞ আমাদের মাঝে আমাদের উপাধ্যক্ষ মহোদয় উপস্থিত থাকার জন্য, জনাব খালেদ মোশাররফ স্যার। এবং এই আয়োজন যাদের জন্য, সেই শিক্ষার্থীরা যারা এই মুহূর্তে আমাদের সাথে উপস্থিত আছেন এবং আমাদেরকে সাড়া দিয়েছে, যারা এই আয়োজনে সাংস্কৃতিক সপ্তাহ 2021-এ যারা অক্লান্ত পরিশ্রম করে গত কিছুদিনের অল্প সময়ের মধ্যে খুব ভালো কিছু আমাদেরকে দিতে যাচ্ছে এবং এর মাধ্যমে তারা কিছু শিখতে যাচ্ছে, তারা জীবনে এই অভিজ্ঞতাগুলো অবশ্যই তারা কাজে লাগাবে এই আশা করছি। সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি। আমাদের সাংস্কৃতিক অনুষ্ঠান, সাংস্কৃতিক সপ্তাহ 2021 সফল হোক এই আশা করছি। ধন্যবাদ।
সম্মানিত উপাধ্যক্ষ মহোদয় জনাব খালেদ মোশাররফ স্যার।
Thank you, Saim. Respected teachers, dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am really a bit moved, in a sense. I was enjoying the program of the students of class 6. There, they were performing so nicely. I was really moved and excited also. At the same time, like you, I'm also, what should I say? We all are passing through a very hard situation. Many of you, your family members, got infected with COVID-19. I know. Still life goes on. You know, hopefully this situation will not persist for a long. Inshallah, Allah will set the world afresh anew again, and we are waiting for that time, for that world, for that country. And my just one suggestion to you, please, since life goes on, don't get burdened, don't get demoralized. Please keep on studying, stay always with your teachers, I mean through online, and hopefully today's program will be very nice, since I could see a well-organized program till now. Best of luck. Thank you. I will be enjoying here, not for a long time. Actually, I'll have to. I will enjoy the program of class 9, 8, 7, 6. However, I will stay with you not more than 5 minutes. So please don't take it otherwise. Thank you.
শুনেছে আজ কেন দূর জানা চাই হারাতে মেঘেদের যুদ্ধ শুনেছি সিক্ত আকাশ কেঁদে চলেছে মেঘেদের সিংহেরি পথিকের পায়ে হাঁটা থেমেছে মেঘেদের যুদ্ধ শুনেছি হিমের হাওয়ায় মনে ভিজেছে জানালার পাশে চাপা মাধুরী বাগান বিলাসী হেলা দুলেছে আজ কেন মনসি হয়ে দূর জানা চাই হারাতে। থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
দশম শ্রেণী শাখা থেকে মাহবুবুল আলম।
ধন্যবাদ আমাকে সুযোগটা দেওয়ার জন্য। আমি যে কবিতাটি বলবো সেই কবিতাটির নাম হলো নারী, লিখেছেন বিদ্রোহী কবি কাজী। আমি বলছি, সাম্যের গান গাই আমার চোখে পুরুষ রমণী কোন ভেদাতীয় কল্যাণ কর অর্ধেক তার করিয়াছে নারী অর্ধেক তার নর বিশ্বে যা কিছু এলো পাপ তাপ বেদনা অশ্রু বাড়ি অর্ধেক তার আনিয়াছে নর অর্ধেক তার নারী জগতের যত বড় বড় জয় বড় বড় অভিযান মাতা ভগ্নী ও বধূদের ত্যাগে হইয়াছে মহিয়ান কোন রণে কত খুন দিল নর লেখা আছে ইতিহাসে কত নারী দিল শীতের সিঁদুর লেখা নাই তার পাশে
চির উন্নত শির আমি চির দুর্দম দুর্বিনীত নৃশ মহাপ্রলয়ে আমি নটরাজ আমি সাইক্লোন আমি ধ্বংস আমি মহাভয় আমি অভিশাপ পৃথ্বীর আমি দুর্বার আমি ভেঙে করি সব চুরমার আমি অনিয়ম উশৃঙ্খল আমি দলে যাই যত বন্ধন যত নিয়ম কানুন শৃঙ্খল আমি মানি না কোনো আইন আমি ভরাতরি করি ভরা ডুবি আমি টর্পেড ভীম ভাসমান মাইন আমি দুর্যোটি আমি এলোকেশ ঝড় অকাল বৈশাখী আমি বিদ্রোহী সুত বিশ্ববিধাত্রীর বলবীর চির উন্নত মমশীর রেখে দেবতার সুরভি দিন গিয়ে রাতে লুকাবে মুছো না তো আমার ছবি আমি মিনতি করে দিলাম তুমি চোখে আড়াল হও কাছে কি বা দূরে রও মনে রেখো আমি আছি
তোমার জন্য নিচে তারা একটুখানি আলো ভোরের রং রাতে মিশে কালো কাঠ গোলাপের সাদার মায়ায় মিশিয়ে দিয়ে ভাবি আচ্ছা তোমার লাগে ভালো তোমার জন্য নিচে তারা একটুখানি আলো ভোরের রং রাতে মিশে কালো
ফুকারি ফুকারি কয় ওই মন্দির পূজারীর হায় দেবতা তোমার নয় মসজিদে কাল সিমনি আছিল অঢেল গোস্ত রুটি বাঁচিয়া গিয়াছে মোল্লা সাহেব হেসে কুটি কুটি এমন সময় এলো মুসাফির গায়ে আজারির চিন বলে বাবা আমি বুখা ফাঁকা আছি আজ নিয়ে 7 দিন তেরিয়া হইয়া হাকিল মোল্লা ঢেলা হলো দেখি লেখা বুকা আছো মর্গ ভাগারে গিয়ে নামাজ পড়িস পেটা
মেটা বাঁকা করে চুল বাঁধে প্রেম করে দেখো ছেলেটাও পরে ফুল হাতা শার্ট এই দেখে হাসাহাসি গানটাকে ভালোবাসি এই ভালোবাসি
ভালোবাসি এই স্বপ্ন আমার কখনো বুঝিনি যে এটা ছিল সূচনা আছে বাকি স্বপ্নের উপসংহার মন আধারে তোমাকে আজ বুঝতে চাই জানি না কোথায় পাবো তোমার একবার এসে দেখো আমায় একবার এসে দেখো আমায়
খ্রিস্টাব্দ আমরা বর্তমানে এই কোভিড পরিস্থিতির মধ্যেও ভার্চুয়াল প্ল্যাটফর্মে জুমের মাধ্যমে আমাদের শিক্ষা প্রতিষ্ঠানের ইংরেজি মাধ্যমের দিবা শাখার দশম শ্রেণীর শিক্ষার্থীদের নিয়ে আমাদের এই সাংস্কৃতিক সপ্তাহ উদযাপনের আজকে দ্বিতীয় পর্বে সকলকে আমরা স্বাগত জানাই।
And I'm from class 10, and let's begin the story. It's about a duck, a mother duck, and one of her children who looked really ugly, but there was a confusion. The story is about the confusion about if it is a duck or a swan. So let's begin. So once the duck was very sad because she had lots of eggs, but one of the eggs did not hatch timely. So it took quite a few days, like a week, kind of a week or more than that. So one day the egg started vibrating, it cracked, and a very ugly duckling came out, and it was a male duckling. And the duckling could not just stay with the mother and the other sister and the siblings. So the siblings and the mother just ignored the duckling every time, like while swimming, while quacking, while practicing diving. When the mother duck used to teach her children about how to be a proper duck, so he kept failing in every task. So, and also as I told before, that duckling was very ugly, so everyone used to ignore him. Everyone used to shame him for his looks. So one night he decided to leave his family alone, and he just started running off in the forest, in the marshmallows. He became even more dirtier in the mud and in the the dirt in the forest. And and in the next morning he reached a new pond where he found a group of geese. So he thought that his family to stay happily, who will not just who will not humiliate him for his looks. So he hopped into that pond, swam near those geese, and asked them, "Can I join you? Can I live with you?" The mother and father geese just stared at him, including their children, and they asked him, "Who are you? You look ugly." And then that ugly duckling became sad again, and they made fun of him, and he just ran off again and just again did the same thing that night. He ran off the forest, and all the dirt, and even look even dirtier, even black, and even more stinky. And one night he again reached another pond, this is not a pond, this is bigger than a pond, kind of a lake. He reached there and he saw a group of family who were just fishing, a farmer. So he reached to that farmer. The farmer saw him, and as the farmer was quite poor, so he thought of keeping the duckling, and as he hoped that the duckling would hatch eggs and he will do business with the eggs. But even after keeping more than 4 to 5 months, the duck did not hatch any egg, and becoming hopeless, the farmer had to leave him alone, and the farmer told him to go away. He cannot keep him for more time. So he sadly kept wandering around here and there, and one day he reached a kind of a very big canal, and there he saw very beautiful birds. Those were actually swans. So he reached to there, and he thought of himself that I'm so ugly to live with my family, which were ducks. Then I went to the geese. I was too ugly to live with them also. Then I tried to live with humans. They also could not keep me. So how can can I cope with these beautiful swans if I'm so ugly in there? A livelihood there, a happy family. But he was he just made the courage in himself, within himself, and went asked him for. He was begging him for mercy that if he could live with them happily. And the swan surprisingly told the ugly duckling that you look so beautiful, your feathers are shining so bright. It is so, the canal water was so clean. As he hopped in the canal and swam to them, he became clear. And as he grew in these days, he grew bigger, and he was just a grown-up swan. Actually, he was not a duckling. Mistakenly, maybe a swan's egg maybe landed on the duck's nest. So he joined the swan's group, and he was the most beautiful among them, and he kept living happily ever after. And when the farmer came to fishing, he saw that ugly duckling, which was a swan, and recognized him as the duckling he kept before, for hoping for eggs. And he laughed at him and told them that, oh, you finally found a happy family to live with, stay happy. And the beautiful swan lived happily ever after with the group of swans. So the theme of the story I just told is, we know that no creature deserves to be treated for his or her looks, but we have to just cope with this cruel world, because the cruel world will judge you as many ways as possible, for your color, for your looks, or whatever it is. It will judge you, like the duckling's family did. As he was ugly, he had to leave the family. So you have to cope with the cruelty of the world and find yourself a happy place, like the duckling did. The duckling found himself in a happy place with the group of swan and lived happily after. Thanks for having the patience of listening to me. Thank you.
Honorable teachers and fellow classmates, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Arham Jarif from Einstein, and today I'll tell you all a tale of two pebbles. Let us begin. In a small Italian town, hundreds of years ago, a small business owner owed a large sum of money to a loan shark. The loan shark was a very old, unattractive-looking guy that just so happened to fancy the business owner's daughter. He decided to offer the businessman a deal that will completely wipe out the debt he owed him. However, the catch was that he would only wipe out the debt if he could marry the businessman's daughter. Needless to say, this proposal was met with a look of disgust. So he tried to coerce the businessman by sweetening the deal. He said that he would let fate decide. He would place two pebbles into a bag, one white and one black. The daughter would then have to reach into the bag and pick out a pebble. If it was black, the debt would be wiped, but the loan shark would then marry her. If it was white, the debt would also be wiped, but the daughter wouldn't have to marry the loan shark. Wishing to be freed from the debt, the businessman agreed. The loan shark then stood on a pebble-strewn path in the businessman's garden. The loan shark bent over and picked up two pebbles. Whilst he was picking them up, the daughter noticed that he'd picked up two black pebbles and placed them both into the bag. He then asked the daughter to reach into the bag and pick one. The daughter naturally had three choices as to what she could have done. Number one, refuse to pick a pebble from the bag. Number two, take both pebbles out of the bag and expose the loan shark for cheating. Or number three, pick a pebble from the bag fully knowing it was black and sacrifice herself for her father's freedom. If she picked option one and refused, her father would still be indebted to the loan shark. If she chose option two, although she would be freed from this predicament, her father will remain indebted and relations between them will sour, which may make things dangerous for her father. If she chose option three, then she will lose her freedom for the rest of her life. None of these options seemed favorable. Suddenly, she had an idea. She drew out a pebble from the bag, but before looking at it, she intentionally dropped it into the midst of the other pebbles. Acting as if it was an accident, she said to the loan shark, "How clumsy of me. Never mind. If we look into the bag for the one that is left, we will be able to tell which pebble I picked." Hearing this, the loan shark's face, which was previously grinning widely for his imminent victory, had lost all its color. The pebble left in the bag is obviously black, and since the loan shark didn't want to be exposed, he had to play along as if the pebble the daughter dropped and clear her father's debt. The end. In the moral of this story mainly be that in life we will face many situations, many difficult situations. Some of them may seem to be impossible to get a good end on, but it will never be impossible. If you look hard enough, we'll always find a way. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Rakhine province is a part of the Union of Myanmar and is home to multiple ethnic groups, including the Rakhines and the Rohingyas. The Buddhist Rakhines are the majority, while the Muslim and Hindu Rohingyas are a significant minority of that region. The conflict started right after the independence of Myanmar in 1948. The local Rohingya started an armed revolution against the Burmese government. They said that the main goal for this armed movement was achieving autonomy for the region so that it could be ultimately annexed by the then East Pakistan, which is the present Bangladesh. Unfortunately, the campaign to gain autonomy failed. By the late 1950s and the early 60s, the armed groups had lost support from the locals and were forced to surrender to the government. But it did not end there. The people of Rakhine region, particularly the Rohingyas, have been victims of exploitation and repression by the government of Myanmar, which has been under direct or indirect control of the military from the time of the country's independence. This government has attempted ethnic cleansing on the Rohingyas in the name of countering terrorism. This has led to the present in the years 1991, 1992, and 2015. Most recently, in the year 2017, a huge number of Rohingyas crossed the border in order to seek refuge in Bangladesh. The number of people who crossed the border lies somewhere between 650,000 to a million, according to UN data. Bangladesh, a country where we're already burdened with its massive population and lack of resources, has now become responsible for a huge number of helpless refugees who are running for their lives. This has given rise to the refugee camps in the border regions of Bangladesh. The Kutubalong Rohingya camp in Teknaf is the largest and the most densely populated refugee camps in the world and is for now home to around 800,000 refugees. Bangladesh has been providing shelter to these people on humanitarian grounds for a long time. But there is no hiding the fact that these refugees are a cause of concern for the country. The first problem is the economic problem. Our country is a developing country with a big portion of the population living in poverty. Besides, there's a scarcity of resources and thus it is not possible for Bangladesh to provide shelter to the Rohingyas for a prolonged period of time. The second problem is the threat to national security. A number of refugees have already been charged with allegations of drug dealing and involvement with militant groups. A number of Rohingyas have also been caught while trying to obtain Bangladeshi national identity cards and passports. Besides, surveys have shown that crime rate around the Rohingya camps have increased significantly in recent times. So this problem must be solved as soon as possible. The Rohingya conflict is one that has been going on for a long period of time, so coming to a solution for it is not easy, but there are certain things that need to be done for solving this conflict. The first prerequisite for a peaceful solution is establishing a healthy democratic environment in Myanmar. This has become more difficult than ever after the recent military coup and arrest of State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi. The second thing that has to be done is ensuring a safe environment in the Rakhine region for Rohingyas to return safely and ensuring equal civil rights with them. Thirdly, a proper plan has to be made for the rehabilitations of the Rohingya refugees. This will only be possible if the global superpowers and the UN play a strong diplomatic role in bringing an end to this conflict. Hopefully, this conflict will meet its end very soon and the Rohingyas will be able to return to their motherland. With this, I would like to end my speech. Thank you.
The megastructures of Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a developing country, and as such, it lacks many elements of the developed world. It especially lacks in more advanced and massive infrastructures known as megastructures. More or less, all the leaders of the modern world have many megastructures at their disposal: suborbital space stations, nuclear power plants, bridges that stretches across countries, etc. Some countries even plan to make megastructures that large enough to envelop stars. Though Bangladesh lacks capital, it has already started working on some mega projects. To quell the constant want of electricity, Bangladesh has picked up projects such as the 2400 megawatt Rudhpur nuclear power plant, the biggest single project Bangladesh has ever picked up. It is worth over Taka 1 crore and 13 lakhs. Other projects include the 1320 megawatt Rampal power plant and the 1200 megawatt coal-fired power plant in Matarbari of Mahashkhali. They have witnessed significant progress lately. They may not amount to much in the grand scheme, but for a developing country like Bangladesh, these are milestones in the history of progress. But the government of Bangladesh did not stop there. They created much anticipated projects like the Podda Bridge, Chattogram-Coxbazar Rail Link, Podda Rail Link, Paira Deep Sea Port, and Dhaka Intercity Metro Rail to expand the efficiency of communication around the country over both land and water. It has planned many more infrastructures to come over the years. For a country like Bangladesh, this is a huge achievement in just 50 years of independence. So we should applaud Bangladesh and its government for such efficient planning and development. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Five members, 2 daughters and a son, all are students. Abdul Mannan has been teaching in a non-government high school with respect and honor for 10 years. Village people respect him compared to goddess. He maintains his family with hand-to-mouth by threefold salary, which he gets from the school. In spite of having poverty and shortage, he never loses heart. But abruptly, his despair and suffering come to his life. His respect and honor falls on a great threat due to a virus named Corona. This virus has been spreading from rural to urban and urban to cities. This virus has smashed our social and economical life tremendously. Today, all educational institutions are now at a deadlock and it has been closed for a sign dive. Abdul Mannan's school remained closed since last year of March. So his life has fallen on a great danger. In this pandemic situation, the teacher has spent his all savings for maintaining his family. In the meantime, the salary has already been stopped, which he got from the school. The man who is a teacher is pondering over his teaching profession and regretting himself by uttering a sentence, why he become a teacher? In these circumstances, he cannot ask for any help to anybody. He doesn't know how he will feed the 5 mouths of his family. For being worried simultaneously, the teacher, Mr. Abdul Hannan, health started to deteriorating. Eventually, he takes the utmost decision of his life, which is to sell vegetables in his local market. The yesterday's teacher is now a vegetable seller. Mr. Abdul Mannan is now selling vegetables on a rented van. By sacrificing the respect and honor which he earned through his teaching are all now in vain. To maintain his family expense, a teacher is now vegetable seller. Now Mr. Mannan is lamenting by saying himself, is there no responsibility of the state for the teachers? He also added that a teacher who is considered as a nation builder, now he has been compelled to be a vegetable seller. As a result, the respect of the teacher is rolling on the ground. He also laments how a nation can hide its shame. Finally, Mr. Mannan thinks that in this pandemic situation, like him, a lot of teachers are the victim of social suicide.
since the coronavirus is actually a contagious virus, people would not get in contact with each other, and thus the virus would not spread. However, however, for the educational institutions of Bangladesh have been closed for over 1 year and 4 months now, and that has actually brought some significant changes in my life. Now, these changes are actually both positive and negative changes, so I will be describing them. So, the first major change that came to my life was responsibilities. Previously, I used to wake up early in the morning, complete my studies within a certain time, head to school, and then read again, and then go to bed early in the night. But since we do not have any physical school now, and even though our school does conduct online classes, it's actually not a specific purpose for me to go early, to head to bed early in the night or wake up early in the morning. And I think I am speaking for a large number of people over here. And another thing that actually so what this resulted in is that I lost some responsibilities which I had before lockdown. However, I also got some new responsibilities. For example, during my lockdown, I learned to do some basic household chores, which I think will help me in my future. And another major thing that was a downgrade in my lockdown life was the reduction of social skills. For example, when you're in your home, you do not interact with specific people. Like you do not interact with people you usually do before lockdown. So what that resulted in is that my social skills reduced, and by that I mean that my social interacting skills actually downgraded. I cannot interact with people the same way I used to before lockdown. Now, this was a significant downgrade, but however, I also got some major upgrades during lockdown. For example, now since all of us are actually attracted to our devices, for example, ICT devices, because that's the main thing we need to for doing online classes, for giving exams, and so on and so forth. What that resulted in is that I actually got to learn something new. And here again, I think I am speaking for a large number of people. Many of us actually they learned newer stuff. For example, website development, learning an entire new programming language, making games in the Unreal Engine, and so on and so forth. Me, personally, I learned video editing and photoshopping, which I do not think is that major types of skills, but I can probably say that those are something new that I learned during lockdown. And another major thing that changed during lockdown is that going outside, working out, or playing sports. So before lockdown, we all know that we used to go outside and play in the field with our friends, and that served as entertainment. It was fun, and of course, it helped keep our body stable. It helped us keep a fit structure. So what that resulted in is that we actually had a stable body. But now, since we cannot even go out of our homes, what that resulted in is that we started to become overweight. For example, I started to gain weight ever since lockdown started. So that was a major change that came into me, and I think that was a bad one also. So overall, I think we can say that lockdown actually had some major changes in our lives, and those are both positive and negative changes. But I think we can say that it is actually our choice. It is actually our choice to decide whether we are going to the right or in the wrong ways. Like we can choose ourselves whether we enjoy all our opportunities and make our lifestyle, I mean, adopt a newer lifestyle so that we can enjoy our lockdown life inside our homes, or sometimes we can also fall down the wrong path and start getting some bad habits during lockdown and change of moods and so on. And is in a terrible condition right now, and we can expect extended versions of this lockdown. So we actually have to adopt a newer way so that we can actually enjoy our life. We can actually learn newer things during lockdown. With that, I am ending my speech. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Assalamu alaikum.
During the COVID-19 lockdown period. I learned new stuff. I learned about myself. I learned composing and writing stories and poems, which I really enjoyed. And I was even flabbergasted with my own skill that I got to discover. But then again, I got to get some negative side effects as well. Like studying has not been that easy for me since lockdown because the physical interaction is not done in lockdown. But I would love to thank our school because study program is still going, and at least I'm getting a life and getting a study. most of the people of the world, especially in the rural areas, are not getting anything. So I have to be good, and that's it. But I got to say that I cannot become. It would be preposterous, and it would be a lie if I said that my life was hard. It is.
One day his father scolded him a lot for his bad result. He felt so insulted, and that night he left his home. Next day, his father got a letter from the boy. Sorry, Dad, for disappointing you. I will come back home if I will become that capable to make you proud. The boy went to a city and started doing a job. He told the owner that I don't want any payment from you, but you have to teach me how to cook. So the chef started training him, and after 2 years, he became a good chef. And he worked one more years in a restaurant and saved a good amount of money. With that, he opened a restaurant of his own. People liked his delicious food, and his food became famous in the city. And within a few more years, he opened 6 branches of his restaurant. Then, after 10 years, he went to home. His father was happy seeing him. They cried for a while. Then the grown up boy asked his father, "Where is my mom?" His father replied with sorrow, "She is no more." So, the moral of the story is there are many options in our life to achieve success. We need the spirit of our life, but while achieving the success, we lose many beautiful moments of our life.
খালেদ স্যার, উপস্থিত আছেন জাকির স্যার, এবং উপস্থিত আছেন আমার সহকর্মী সায়েম স্যার, আমার শিক্ষার্থীরা, সবাইকে আমি শুভেচ্ছা জানাচ্ছি। এই সাংস্কৃতিক সপ্তাহ উদযাপন যে অনুষ্ঠানটা 2 দিন ধরে চলছে, খুবই ভালো লাগছে। বিশেষ করে সবাই এত সুন্দর করে প্রত্যেকটা জায়গা উপস্থাপন করেছে, বিশেষ করে গান, তারপরে আবৃত্তি, তারপর উপস্থিত বক্তৃতা, মানে একদম চমৎকার উপস্থাপন। এবং এই অনুষ্ঠানের মধ্যে দিয়ে আমরা একটা জিনিস বুঝতে পারলাম যে আমাদের ছাত্ররা বাসায় কিছুটা হলেও একটা এই অনুষ্ঠানের ভিতর দিয়ে একটা স্বস্তি লাভ করেছে। এটা আমার কাছে খুবই ভালো লাগছে। আমি নিজেও খুব আনন্দ পেয়েছি যে এরকম অনুষ্ঠান যদি আমরা করতে পারি, তাহলে আশা করি আমাদের ছাত্ররা অনেক উপকৃত হবে। আবার সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ জানিয়ে
This program provides an opportunity to participate in various activities such as song, poem recitation, solo drama, drawing. It is a beautiful and effective way to express, to develop memorizing skills, to awaken sensitivity and enhance creative capacity. It provides a relaxed and pleasing way to practice language skill. It gives us happiness and satisfaction. So we can ahead our program. Due to Corona COVID-19, our school has been closed for a long time, but we can't begin. We must have to ahead. We will have to continue our program. Programs, the students can express hidden treasure and face virtual program. Sometimes we can notice that some of the students in the classroom can speak loudly, but in a program, in a public opinion, in public position, they cannot express their properly.
Okay, so it was immense for me, I can discover my students' talent, and this is the way actually institution make this platform for this discovering, and MPSC doing this regularly. So thank you students for your participations, and keep it up, and you hope your performance, this time it seems like a small platform, but it is the starting. It is the starting, and which leads you in future platform and big to bigger platform. You can draw the attention of the peoples, draw the attention of the peoples all over the world, I can say, I can sure. Okay, so thank you our VP sir. Finally he actually got ourselves to manage this program, and he has rely on us that we can manage this, and he will must give us chance in future also for taking little bit more time, taking little bit more space, and he will cooperate all time for making this type of program. So thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.
They were so excited, so interested to attend the program, to enjoy the program. And this is the success, not all of the teachers, but also the students. I'm very much happy. I do no longer want to continue my speech. Finally, what I want to say, please, your classes will start from July 11. You are the students of class 10. I mean, the last year of your school life. We don't know what will happen, but still you have 6 to 7 months in your hand for your preparation. I mean, for SSC preparation. Whatever may be the situation, we always encourage our students to remain in right track, to remain in right path. If you think that the pandemic situation is going on, no pressure from my parents, no pressure from my teachers, so I can do whatever I like, I can spend my time doing other things, not studying, it will be a great loss for you. Please believe me, you are going to sit for SSC exam in 2022, and time is very short. Inshallah, this pandemic situation will be over, and hopefully we'll sit for the SSC exam very smoothly. It is our prayer to Almighty. But if you don't take preparation, if you spend your time just doing dilly-dally or some other things, it will be a great loss. Please follow your teacher's advice, instructions. Since we have got some limitations due to pandemic, we cannot directly contact you. You are not going to school. So total responsibility is on you. And you are the most senior student. And I strongly believe you will do everything yourself, not for the pressure from your parents, from your teachers.